phrase funny money. How many of you have heard it before? Well, it actually started somewhere in U.S. history. And it started with the Bureau of Engraving, the Treasury Department, and paper money. And it started in 1928 when we took these big, giant saddle blanket bills and shrunk them down to the notes we carry today. Some people have heard the phrase monopoly money. Look at our first silver certificates. And in the bottom right is the common reverse on these two notes. That is the nickname, the funny money. And that is because they remind people of monopoly money. And as a result, for the first time in history, the Bureau of Engraving is shrinking our currency to make it a little bit more efficient. And the first ever silver certificate is this one, the 1928. The big blue seal, the big word 1, and the reverse looks like it could be for Monopoly game. Just about a little bit bigger than those particular notes. And that's the chapter and where it starts. The second note you see in the bottom, you notice the design is identical. It's just they've chosen to move things around. They put a 1 in blue and moved the seal over the 1. Because people were looking at this saying, this is our only $1 piece out there right now. It's the new small size currency. And it reminds us of, well, monopoly money. The design change in 1934 was supposed to be that side, the reverse side. However, in our brain work, we decided to change the front side and leave the back alone. That lasted 1 year, by the way. Couple slaps in the head, as Jethro Gibbs would reference. In 1935, a whole brand new note is introduced, and these two notes are a part of history. So, when you look at paper money compared to coins, right? When's the last time you've seen a silver certificate? And if you did see one, it's probably a 57, the last series. You might have seen a 35. But going back and finding these early, first ever silver certificates, small size, is the challenge. And now that you've found them, how many of them look like they've been through a world war? Right? I mean, paper is supposed to last 9 months in circulation. Coins are supposed to last for 3/4 of a century. So what happens? We destroy them and make new ones. And we just keep the process going. It's something most of us, all of us have known in our lifetime. Paper's been around for all of our lifetimes. But the first ever uncirculated beauties like the ones you're seeing, that's a different story. The other part of the story is beyond just 9 months in circulation and they're replaced. Remember, June 4th, 1963, silver is starting to move a little bit. And what happens? The U.S. Treasury makes the declaration. Starting today, if you bring your silver certificate to the bank, we will give you a silver amount, dimes, quarters, half dollars, even dollars. They had some dollars still available at that time for your paper. We're getting rid of the paper. We're going to Federal Reserve notes, the greenbacks we carry today. So if you did have these at home, and the government's telling you silver is going up so we can no longer have our coin backed in silver, are you keeping the silver paper or are you turning it in to get the silver coin? Now, if you just didn't know and you kept the paper, you are the lucky ones. Now, the others, I'm sorry, you might have got the Morgan dollar. You might have got half dollars. And when silver going to $50 an ounce in 1980, think about it. You took a piece of paper. In 1963, that was a piece of paper worth $1. And in 1980, you got $50 for it. Nothing wrong with that. But that's not today. That is almost a half a century ago. We're in 2025. So going and finding these gems of history. I mean, George is the one on the $1 bill, right? The last large size note, that 1923 note, that was George on it too. We shrink the note to the first ever small size silver certificate. This one right here, it's George too. The design is, currency is dated two ways. First is by design release. This one, the 28, that's the design in 28. And then the signatures are on the note to date when it was made after 1928. 1934 comes into play, right? That design change is the markings. So where a Morgan dollar might be in 1878 as a year, the signatures are the mint marks, the O's, the P's, the S's, the D's, etc. And it's kind of the separation. Tonight we're talking about a 1928 design. We're talking about a 1934, the only one-year design in the whole world of silver certificates in U.S. Treasury history, which dates back to the Civil War. And ours are in uncirculated condition in this hard acrylic holder as you see it. Gorgeous. My competition. We did find a 28. They were at 198. Kind of rhymes, right? And we did find a 34 for about 2 1/4. Now, I don't believe the 2 1/4, the 34 note we found as a comparison was actually an Unc note because it had folds, and fold marks can't happen on an uncirculated note, right? They got to be crisp like they were made yesterday. Wink, wink, but we know they weren't. So join us tonight, everybody, with this classic part of U.S. history. One that we talk about maybe 2 or 3 times a year. Very rarely do we ever talk about it together, because having the perfect storm of the 28 being available at the same time that 34 is, I can't tell you how often I've done this in the last 40 years of doing collectible coins on TV. Guys, give me a 1-minute clock, please. If you're looking for lower grade, yes, check our website, avccoins.com. And you'll see a tab across the top that's for currency, collectible notes. And just go on there and type in funny back, and it'll bring you up to all the different varieties we have. We have some in circulated condition as well, but the difference between circulated and uncirculated condition, right, is huge. Huge. How many survived the last 3/4 of a century? How many survived the turn-in for real silver? How many survived in this condition? And the prices from my competition are telling you not many. But tonight it's a your choice opportunity, which means if you only want one of them, you want the first one, the 1928, join us. If you want the rare 1934 note made for only 1 year, join us there. But these are the only 2 funny money, funny back silver certificates in U.S. Treasury history. And tonight, look at them. These are outright gorgeous.